What's your name, William? I'm asking you, William Thatcher, to answer me with your name. It's not Sir William, it's not Count or Duke or Earl William, it's certainly not King William.
I'm aware of that.
You have to be of noble birth to compete.
A detail.
Okay, let's all go. Let's go.
Hello and welcome. Welcome here. This is Wait, You Haven't Seen? It's a show where we talk about movies, and specifically, we talk about a movie at least one of us never seen before. I'm your host, Travis, aka TV's Travis. This is episode number 328, and our movie this week from 2001 is A Knight's Tale, and joining me to talk about it, because she had seen it, I had not, it's Dr. Niki. How you doing?
Hi, Travis. I'm so happy to be here. I'm obsessed with this movie, so I'm excited to talk about it.
That's amazing. All right, so what's your history? When did you first see this movie?
So we'll see how this ages us, but I saw this movie when I was 8 years old, and I had it on VHS. Actually, no, my friend who was my neighbor had it on VHS, and I always made an excuse to go over to her house to rewatch it, and I think I saw it like 20 times.
Wow.
Like a year in that period. So I was obsessed with this movie at the time. Is the coolest thing I'd ever seen. And me having seen this when I was 8 feeds into a lot of the things that I thought about this movie. And I will say, having seen it at that age, it holds up still now. So it means it must be somewhat good.
Yeah, so
At least I think it holds up.
well, so I remember this movie coming out. I was just out. I was a year out of high school, and college hadn't worked out, so I'm back at home, and I started working in a video store, Suncoast Video.
Okay.
And for those that maybe remember that, it wasn't a rental store. It was like we sold movies, and
Okay, yeah.
that was it. So 2001, this movie comes out. I remember seeing trailers for it. It didn't grab me at the time. I'm like, oh, it's the kid from 10 Things I Hate About You. I enjoyed that movie. I don't know that I want to see him on as a knight.
The cover and the poster is like not at all with like it looks like, for me when I was a kid, I was like, oh, this is like Kill Bill. Like I don't like Kill Bill because I'm a kid. So I was like, I don't want to watch this because it's that like black and white with the red background and it looks like one of the Kill Bill movies. I was like, no, I don't want to watch this.
He's got a very stern look on his face as he's
it looks like it's a serious movie. You don't get any hint that it's going to be like medieval comedy.
Right. And then I saw the trailer, and the trailer had all of the popular music in it, and it just didn't grab me. But at our store, we had people that did like it. When it came out on DVD, it became one of our in-store kind of rotation movies. But I never watched the whole thing. I would always catch like somebody would put it into play, and then my shift would be over and I'd leave. Or I'd come in and it would be like the end credits playing. So it's
like in the background.
Yeah. I had seen some clips from it. I knew enough to know a couple of the people that were in it, but that was it. So, and then it was just an out of sight, out of mind. I never got around to it. And then later on, I heard from a lot of people, oh, you need to watch A Knight's Tale. It's great. And I'm like, really? It looked, it looked
movie?
dumb. And,
Yeah.
And it was years later that I started to appreciate Heath Ledger as an actor.
Yeah.
And then I would kick the can down the road. I wouldn't think about it. And then somebody would bring it up. I'm like, yeah, I should watch that sometime. And then immediately forget and go on. So when you brought it up that, hey, let's watch A Knight's Tale, I was like, perfect. I finally need to watch it and see if it's actually as good as people have told me.
And
it's as good as people have told me.
And it's better.
I had a feeling that I was going to, at least appreciate the movie for what it was and be like, it's a cute movie and whatnot. It's got some early 2000s romantic comedy aspects to it. It's very anachronistic, which I knew.
Yes, but it works so well.
It does. But there was a heart in this movie that I wasn't prepared for. And I'm not going to lie to you, Act 3, the last like 10, 15 minutes, I'm starting to tear up from some of the stuff they set up in the beginning of the movie, and they pay it.
You're so like all the characters are so great, and they're acted so well, and they all. Well, I have some preferences, you'll see, but like they all do such a good job. They all like hold the movie up. So,
everybody
get really invested.
everybody in this.
Yeah.
And it was another one of those movies where every time somebody new would come on screen, I either remember them from something or like something little, or I'm like, oh, I loved him or her in this. And
Yeah, I don't know which of them like maybe got their start with this movie or if they were already in a bunch of stuff. I don't really know the history with that.
so I know a little bit. So Heath Ledger, like I said, I had seen him in 10 Things I Hate About You. And
Yeah.
I loved him in that, but that was very, that's him playing a high school student. And I'm like, he's a good young actor. But when in 2001, when it came out, I'm of the mindset, oh, he's the young pretty boy, right? That was
Right.
And that
Which
was
he still kind of plays in this movie, but like a little bit older.
He does.
He's still the pretty boy though.
But it was a few years later I saw him in a movie called The Brothers Grimm, and that was the first movie where I was like, ooh, this kid can act. Like, he's good. And that was pre Brokeback Mountain. That was pre Dark Knight. But I saw him in that and I'm like, he's good. He's a lot better of an actor than I gave him credit for. And then of course he goes on and he does, some fantastic roles. But he is really good in this. He is unfairly charming. Like, his
and having watched this as a young girl, like obsessed with Heath Ledger for like years because of this movie. Like, how can you not be?
Right. How could you not be? Like, Heath Ledger in 2001 was the Devon Sawa from 97, or Leo DiCaprio. He was that. He was that heartthrob. He's 21 years old making this movie. His charisma has charisma. Like, the fact that
big rib, the kids say.
I mean, the fact that Watt and Roland are willing to join him on this journey, it's like, yes, no, if I were around this guy William Thatcher, sure, he could get me to pretty much do whatever he wanted to do because he's just that charming and he's that likable, and it comes across.
But talking about charisma, I think the person with the most charisma and who maybe even carries the movie the most is Paul Bettany in this cast.
Yes.
He's incredible. I love him in this, and I had also never seen him in anything else. And the next time I had seen him in something, it may have been the Marvel movies. And I was like, that's the guy? Like, that is not the same guy.
So I had seen him in the Marvel stuff, but he had also done a few things here and there. There's a movie he did where he plays an angel called Legion. There's
I may have seen
there's a really bad action movie he did a few years back called Priest. That was like kind of a post-apocalyptic one.
He didn't do like crazy stuff in between though.
No.
Like, he was kind of in the shadows until he came into Marvel.
A little bit, yeah. He was an actor's actor. He was somebody that actors knew and like big time film buffs knew, but because he would be in Master and Commander, he would be in things like that. Da Vinci Code he has a small role in.
He's the one who like flails himself in that movie, right?
Yes. But I was talking to a friend of mine earlier today about it. His Geoffrey Chaucer in this movie steals every single scene he is in and just runs away with it. He is
and
so
that's
good.
Like the character as well, and that works out so well.
Oh yeah.
And actually, you mentioned Chaucer. That's the part. So like, because I watched this when I was so young, I didn't know who Chaucer was. I like barely knew about the medieval times, and so I never noticed that he was like a famous writer.
Yeah.
And also I think because he like kind of mumbles it and has a really British accent. So this watch that I had of it is the first time that I noticed that he's like, oh, I'm Jeff Chaucer. I was like, Chaucer, like Chaucer?
Yeah.
Which totally makes sense because like he's really good at writing. He's really eloquent. But I like just connected those dots yesterday.
And I was reading, and part of this script was there's like a year or so in Geoffrey Chaucer's life that is just unaccounted for. And so the idea was that this is what was happening during that year. And I just think that's...
and they talk about the gambling and how like Chaucer was also a gambler. Yeah.
Yep. There's a deleted scene with his wife in it that it cracked me up. I did
really?
track that down and find it because his introduction is such a fantastic introduction where they're on the road to ruin.
That scene is so epic.
And him just walking in, just butt naked, covered in bruises and scratches, and he's just mumbling to himself, walking down the road like...
And he's used to it.
Yeah. It's such an amazing introduction to a character, and then just every time he's on screen, just compelling. I feel bad for his voice box because he just was shredding his vocal cord.
He really was, yeah.
You could hear it, but Paul Bettany. And then I mentioned Watt and Roland, Alan Tudyk and Mark Addy. Now, if I had watched this in 2001 when it came out, I would have known Mark Addy because I had seen The Full Monty.
Okay, I've not seen that.
He's in that, and I loved him in it. It's a really silly movie, but it's a movie from '97, and it's got it's about a bunch of working class guys in England that decide to get into male stripping to make money.
Oh, I have heard of that, and they're like middle aged.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
And
I may have seen bits of that.
Yeah, and it's the movie that introduced me to Robert Carlyle, and also Mark Addy, and so I knew him from that.
Okay.
At the time,
yeah. Now that you say that, it's coming back to me.
Yeah. Now, at the time that this movie came out, I wouldn't have known who Alan Tudyk is. I do now. Love him.
Yeah, he's not in that much stuff. Even I'm looking now, like
this was pretty early in his screen career. He had done a little bit.
A lot of Disney voice acting.
He does a ton of voice acting. I love his quote where he talks about how he was trained at Juilliard, and then he's voicing a chicken. He's doing the voice of the chicken in a Disney movie.
Do the chicken.
And he's amazing as Hey. But he's just like, he is fantastic and everything. And I got to know him a few years after this because I was a big Firefly fan. I had a friend of mine who was like, dude, you got to check out this show. And that was a show where I had seen commercials for it, but I never watched it when it was on the air, and it wasn't on the air for that long. And then it came out on DVD, and a friend of mine loaned me the DVDs of that series. There's 14 episodes, and in 24 hours I had watched all of them.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't stop. And I loved Wash, and I loved Alan Tudyk, and have ever since. But he is amazing in this too. Roland and Watt are so much fun. Because
and they work really well together.
They really do. They really, really do. And when you bring in Jeff and the three of them as just the entourage, and then eventually they get Kate the blacksmith, and she was fantastic.
Yeah. I want to talk about the two main female characters because I think Kate is really awesome. We'll talk a little bit about costume. I think her costume is more period appropriate and like better than the main, what's her name? Josephine?
Jocelyn. Yep.
Jocelyn, I don't know. Her acting's great. Her costumes are super weird. She's like the main one who has really weird costumes. I know it's on purpose, but like it's weird. And I kind of hate her, but that's because I'm jealous of her.
So, okay. Shannyn,
like having seen this now, their relationship is stupid.
Oh yeah.
But at the time when I saw it, I was like, this is everyone's dream.
Well, but, it's that thing where when you're younger, you're taught that it's the big grand gestures that are super romantic, and that's what makes a good relationship.
It's like super toxic. They're both super toxic.
You get older and you learn, no, none of that is right. It's communication and connection that way. But Shannyn Sossamon, this was her first film role. She had done
her acting's excellent.
Yeah, she had done I think a couple episodes of Mr. Show, sketch comedy thing back in the 90s, and a couple of music videos. But this was her first like role in a film, and her acting is great. I do have several notes that were like her hair. The hair is
hair. It's what it is. It's like early 2000s Spice Girls era fashion, and we talked about it being anachronistic. But there's a lot of places in which it really works, and I think this part it doesn't work. Like the costumes and the hair. What are you doing? Why do you have like spiky bun with like red dye in it in a medieval like setting?
If the costuming,
when everyone else is like more or less on theme.
Yes, that's exactly it. She stands out so much with the hair and the costume.
Which I'm sure was the point, but it's a little bit like, are you a time traveler?
Yeah, it's just a little distracting. And the toxic relationship, because they do the rom-com thing of manufactured drama. And
absolutely,
the manufactured drama is terrible and dumb. And I had several notes that are just like, this is dumb. Why is she telling? She's telling him to lose. And then as he starts to lose, she likes it. And then she tells him, nope, now you can't lose. Now you have to win.
Which is so dumb, but also it works really well for the story because he needed that because he's so egocentric.
Yes.
But their relationship is toxic, but it brings in lots of great elements. Like the scene where he's just like stalking her, following her through the town, and then ends up with his horse in the church. That scene's excellent. It's
so
so
good.
dumb, but like it works so well.
That and the man, the guy
You
playing the old
desecrate
bishop,
the house of God.
he is awesome as those kinds of roles. He had a similar role in Robin Hood,
Yeah.
Prince of Thieves, like 10 years earlier. And he's just so good at
Sometimes
playing
when you're
that.
good at something, you just got to keep doing that.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. But I liked her overall, like throughout and because she's consistent throughout the movie in who her character is, even if there's like
important.
There's some unevenness in their relationship because they go from having the fun dance sequence to he's a dick to her and telling her she's a silly girl, and then he's writing her the love letter, and then like it's up and down, but that's standard rom-com.
Yeah, that was so funny because he's like such a jerk to her. Then he writes her the letter like, "Oh, my heart is so broken." I'm like, "You did this to yourself. Like, what are you doing?"
The scene though where
one part that you're saying where she's like really consistent at the end, and I guess it's fine if we give spoilers, right?
Yep. Oh yeah.
At the end when he's like poor now and he's like, well, we're gonna have to live with the pigs, and the agony that she has, she's like, yes, with the pigs. Like I think that's horrible, but I love you so much that I'll do it and I'll be pissed about it. And that was very on character for her.
It was, and it's also great because as toxic as the relationship could be, because it's the whole love at first sight, we don't know each other, but we're in love thing. But also, she doesn't care about his status or being noble or anything like that. It's about him. And so she doesn't want him to get arrested. She's like, run. And I don't care if you run, I'll go with you. And I don't care where we live. Like, it's fine. I'm not going to, it's not going to be my first choice, but I'd rather be there with you than keep my social status and you be in jail. Like that I really
Which we never find out really why she's so fancy. Like, we don't know if she's a noble. She's just there. She's on the same pedestal as the king.
Yeah.
She must be somehow related, but
something. She gets to travel around all these tournaments in all these different towns in France just because, and then go to London for reasons. Like, we don't know. And it's
whatever.
That should bother me, like from a logical standpoint, and it doesn't. I just didn't care. It never
this movie, that's a great point. It leans a lot on like suspense of belief. Like just it's fine. And it works so well in this movie. Like, actually, that's how they open the movie. They open the movie with "We Will Rock You." It's medieval times. The peasants are actually the ones theoretically doing the, like, stomping and clapping.
Yes.
Allegedly, the trumpet things are playing the guitar riff in the beginning. And it's like, look, this is what this movie is going to be like. It'll be fine, like, chill. And it works for the whole rest of the movie.
It does. And I read a really cool thing. So this was written and directed by Brian Helgeland. And he, as a director, this feels like the outlier of his styles of movie, because so he's a writer and a director. He had directed Payback with Mel Gibson a couple years before this, which is a real dark noir revenge movie.
Yeah, not this.
He did 42, the movie about Jackie Robinson about 10 or 12 years ago. He did a movie called Legend in 2015 with Tom Hardy, where Tom Hardy's playing twin brothers that are like London gangsters.
Oh, I may have seen that one, actually.
He also wrote movies like Ridley Scott's Robin Hood, The Green Zone with Matt Damon, Man on Fire with Denzel Washington, which is another one of those kind of really gritty, tough movies.
All like dark movies, and then this.
Mystic River, which is a heartbreaking movie. What was L.A. Confidential, and then A Knight's Tale, just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting.
This movie's so bright too. It's like
not
gritty at all.
No. But one of the cool things, he talked about the music and the reason for using a lot of the 70s arena rock music and having it, not only using it in the movie like a needle drop, but having it somewhat be diegetic to the scene. Like you said, where you've got the peasants doing the stomps and all that.
Yeah.
He wanted to evoke how music in medieval times was used for the emotion of a moment without using the traditional music. He wanted to do it in a way that could connect with a modern audience. So he used modern music.
Yeah, so like the crowd at the time with their music would be feeling as excited as we feel with Queen.
Exactly.
Right. Like, I think I had seen that as well. Yeah. And it works great.
It's brilliant. It's a brilliant way to do it. And I didn't know that while I'm watching the movie for the first time, but I felt it subconsciously. I didn't think about it. It was just like, no, they're really into this because I'm watching this. And
you're
I'm
like hyped, right? The opening scene, you're like, this is gonna be great. Like, I already know.
You're watching this and it's like, this is great. This is like a football game or a soccer match or whatever it is, where the crowd's getting into it and they're doing the wave. And the funny thing is, they shot all of this in Prague, and
that makes sense.
They were saying, I saw a behind the scenes thing with like the second unit director talking about none of them knew what the wave was. So he's trying to explain, like, we can do the wave. So if you watch it again, pay attention to like all the extras. Half of them don't know what they're doing. Like,
that's so funny. But that tracks for medieval times, so it totally works out.
Yep, it worked.
I do have to make an admission. So for the We Will Rock You. So again, remember, I saw this for the first time I was 8. So I thought that song was from the medieval times because of this movie. I was like, wow, they came up with such cool songs back in the day. And then this trumpet part, and for like the longest time, I was like, oh yeah, that really, really old song.
That's the joy of kid brains, right? When you're a kid, there's nothing is off limits. You can just do whatever. And if that's a medieval song, because that's what you connected it with, was this movie.
I mean,
so
it's a real movie, obviously, from the medieval times, so it makes sense.
It's just a historical document.
Speaking of history, I tried to see if they tried to make it like realistic, and before I rewatched it, I was like, I'm gonna guess that it's not, and they do like the bare minimum. But having rewatched it and actually pay attention to the details, most of it is super, like, more than a funny period piece would do today. Like, a lot of it is super accurate. The costumes are, I'm not a costumier, but like 80% accurate. Even the fabrics and stuff, they had a lot of velvet, and I googled whether velvet was period appropriate, and it is. The furs and stuff are real, which in most period pieces you don't see anymore, and you can tell on the screen that it's like plastic fur. I don't know. That's one of my pet peeves. I hate that. One thing that I noticed is they're eating turkey legs, which is not period appropriate, because turkeys are from the US or from North America. But like most of it is pretty decent. Like even the armor apparently is also rather accurate. So I was pleasantly surprised by that.
It's the right mix of evoking what people think of with medieval visuals, and then the proper anachronisms and things that just look better and can tell
and
a
not
compelling
making
story.
like a joke of it, because there are some like gag movies like that where they'll be like, this is what you think medieval is, and we're just gonna go with that. And it's basically like medieval times as a movie, and I think that wouldn't have worked as well in this case. Like the fact that they actually made it realistic plays to the benefit of the movie.
Oh yeah, even down to like the way the jousting was portrayed, and there's a lot of it in the movie, but it all looks good, and they did a great job of, it's actually guys on horses jousting. They just
I was wondering how some of those stunt doubles, like one of them that fell on its head, like you can tell it's a real guy in there, and I was like, is he okay?
I know that one in particular, because like he comes off the horse and slides along that wooden bar and then falls.
That slide, I'm like, oh.
But it was interesting because they took the lances, and the ends of them they would make out of balsa wood, and they would hollow them out.
So it's a lot easier.
So the end was a lot lighter, and they'd fill it with things like uncooked pasta, like uncooked linguine and things like that. So when it would hit and explode,
like splinters. Oh, that's cool.
But
because I did notice that they splinter like crazy, but that would make sense.
Well, one thing they did say was only the ends were the balsa wood, so then it'd be harder wood towards the back because you had to have the right weight. And there was like the stunt guys were getting beat up pretty good. But I think it was Rufus.
Must have been fun though. I bet they had a blast.
I think it was Rufus Sewell said that they would film them to be on the horse to look like they could ride, but a lot of the stunt work, they figured out that it was cheaper in the movie to just pay the stunt guys and then pay the hospital bills for the stunt guys that got injured than trying to train Rufus and Heath Ledger how to like fully joust. So there was a lot of and but it adds to it because they're knights and wearing full armor with full face shields, it's real easy to swap into a stunt guy, and it never takes you out of it at any point.
No, they did have different horses, and I don't know if it matters, but the main like Will's horse is like a brown horse in the beginning, and then it turns to a roan, and then it's a brown horse again later. Maybe they had two horses, but
They probably
they're like
did.
different colors.
You could also hand wave some of that away because
Yeah.
anybody he knocked off his horse, he got their horse by rule.
Oh, okay.
So you
Sure.
can kind
hand
of,
wave that, I guess.
yeah, you can suspend a little disbelief and be like, nah, he just had multiple horses. We only ever saw
Yeah.
him with one, but it
Yeah,
is what it is.
okay.
But yeah, like, and you keep going through the cast of people like James Purefoy as Colville / Prince Edward. Not in the movie for
Yes.
very long, but he's so like his
So good.
moments are so impactful.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was
also
a thing.
I'll say that knowing history after like watching this movie later when I was not a kid helped, because they're like, oh, it's Prince Edward, and I was like, okay, like whatever, or not King Edward, like whatever, yeah, Prince Edward.
And that
I
was
was like, who's that? I don't care.
I knew that going into the movie that his character was a prince or somebody royal because I had seen this the scene where Rufus Sewell's character like bows out because he learns that it's him.
Yeah.
And so I knew that, but it still is a great reveal, and the fact that William's still willing to joust with him anyway, and they have that like afterwards they meet in the middle and they have the little like head nod, like respect for each other.
Yeah.
And I loved all of that. And this isn't even getting into the storyline with his dad.
Yeah, for the prince though, what I found was interesting is like the Black Prince historically is supposed to be this like crazy evil dude who like took over so much of Europe and France. And actually, having grown up in France, a lot of the area around where I grew up, everyone's like, oh, the Black Prince was here and like slept in this house and this castle and walked on this path. Like it's a whole deal, right? So the fact that in the movie he was like kind of a nice guy was funny.
Yeah, and that was one thing because I knew that he was the prince going into the movie, but for some reason I had it in my head that he was going to be somehow the bad guy. Like,
yeah, I mean, the Black Prince sounds like a bad guy.
Yeah, it does, but no, he ends up being the the one to kind of come in and sort of save the day in a way.
Totally saved the day at the end,
and I loved it. The stuff with his dad is what started to really get the emotions going for me, because it's set up so well in the beginning of the movie. When we meet Will, his knight is dead. The knight that he's a squire for is dead, and he takes over. Luckily gets the helmet bent so he can't lift up the visor, which cracked me up. I laughed so hard when they just smash cut to that thing like bent onto his face.
Good thing that worked out.
Yeah.
Did you notice in that first scene that his dad is in the audience?
I did not.
Yeah, I also again had only noticed this view of the movie, but yeah, which kind of doesn't work out because you'd think he would recognize his voice, or maybe it's not his dad, but there's like a blind guy in the audience who looks a lot like the old version of his dad.
Huh.
So maybe I'm wrong, but like it looks like that actor. I'm also like pretty face blind, so maybe I just hallucinated. It's just another blind guy, but I thought it may have been his dad.
All blind people look alike.
No.
I'm kidding. I am kidding. I'll have to look for that. I'm curious.
Maybe I'm wrong. Okay.
But I love that setup. And then when he loses for the first time to the Count, he gets hit in the head and he has that flashback to when he was a kid. And what was cool about that, this is good screenwriting, because we've already established this idea of I'm going to change my stars as like his motto and his sort of the thing that's driving him. We've talked, like it's been mentioned a few times, and now we get a flashback that gives us the origin of him using that phrase, where he's watching the knights ride in. He's there with his dad. There's the guy in the stocks that's like poking fun at him about, you might as well try to change the stars. And like as a kid, he latches onto that. Like, can we do that, Dad? And it's really cool. And
that it builds up the emotion for sure for the final scenes.
Because you get so you get that flashback, and then when they're coming into London, and you get the second flashback of when his dad took him to Sir Ector, which, by the way, I love that the knight he goes to is Sir Ector, because I'm a big fan of Disney's Sword in the Stone. And in that movie, Arthur is adopted by Sir Ector. So
I'm sure that's what that's from. I never even made the connection. Which
Um,
it's super normal in the medieval times to like sell your kid to go be someone's job, but like, jeez, and that scene I was like, wow. He's like, okay, bye.
right?
Which, you know, it's nice of him because like he didn't have a good future otherwise, and that's the best he could do. But yeah,
And then, you know, the setup of like just follow your feet and change the stars and like all this. It's corny and it's over melodramatic, but it works.
but
Like
it
it fits
works.
the rest of the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah,
Also,
yeah.
fun side note, Sir Ector in that scene is played by an actor
Mm,
named Nick Brimble. Nick
mm.
Brimble was Little John in the Kevin Costner Robin Hood movie.
A
And
lot of Robin Hood crossover at this movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I recognized him. I was like, hey, that's Little John, but he's older and smaller now.
And speaking of like bringing up emotion, so in the scene where he goes back to his dad's house and like sees his dad again for the first time, super emotional. And the fact that he gets caught because of that and the bad guy is there, Rufus Sewell,
Mhm.
Count Adamar, it makes you so angry, right? Like that emotion of like, how dare he? Like I hate him. He's the worst bad guy. Like it like really gets you lost up in those emotions, and it's a good bad guy moment.
Oh, it's
Just
great.
so evil.
It's wonderful because this is like a throwback story where we're not having complex layered characters in terms of who our good guys and bad guys are. It's like,
Yeah, it's black. Literally, he's like dressed in all black. He has a
yep,
black horse. Like we
yeah.
get it. He's the
It's
bad guy.
just old school like Hollywood Western black hat, white
Yeah,
hat. And I'm fine.
100%,
I'm
and it's
fine with
fine.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did not
You
bother
know
me
what
one
makes
bit.
my life easier?
Sure. Sometimes I want a
Yeah.
movie that just is like, hey, here's the bad guy and he's going to be terrible and he's just going to constantly do terrible things and you're going to hate him. It's all fine. But that
And
whole
I don't know, does
scene,
he always play bad guys? Because having him be, again, having watched this so young, in my mind, he's always a bad guy. And I almost like hate this actor because he's so evil in this movie.
so he talked about that. I watched an interview with him where he had done some movies. They didn't do great. He did this. It was a moderate hit.
Mm,
He didn't want to get typecast as playing a bad guy, but
yeah.
he couldn't get a lot of good jobs doing other
He's
roles, and
kind of
so
got
he
the
was
face
taking
for
some of
it.
it because he does. He has a very
Yeah.
good face for it, and he understood that, and he's like, his one concern was if you do something where you're a good bad guy, like say you're Alan Rickman playing Hans Gruber, right, in Die Hard,
Yeah.
fantastic. The problem is you do so well in that, now you get a lot of lesser filmmakers
B tier bad guy.
to be the bad guy. They're like, oh, you were good in that, be a bad guy here. And the way he
Yeah.
put it was like the scripts won't be as good. And that's what he was
Okay.
concerned about. But in some
Hmm.
ways he did also like, hey, I gotta work. I'll lean into it a little bit. But he has the ability to be like just very sinister. He just has,
Yeah.
and he has a very I mean, I say this with all the respect, he has a very punchable face. He can look,
Yeah. He sneers really well,
yes.
and
That's a
it
good way
makes
to
you
put
want to
it. I didn't
punch him.
I didn't think about that, but yeah, it's like a sneer that he's just constantly got on
Hmm.
his face.
Hmm.
So, but the whole,
It's not the same actor, I think, but it reminds me of in Gladiator. This movie had some Gladiator aspects to it as well.
I had notes
Um,
saying the exact same thing. Yeah.
the guy with the whatever his name is, the prince or the emperor in Gladiator,
Oh,
it's kind
Joaquin
of the same
Phoenix.
vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he reminds me of Joaquin Phoenix a lot.
Yeah. There is a little bit of that there. There's some crossover.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned Gladiator because I had a few notes talking about like this reminds me of Gladiator or like,
they're around the same time, right?
yeah. Yep. They're within a year or so of each other. And one of the things in Gladiator was, Proximo tells him like, get the crowd behind you. You work the crowd up
Hmm.
and the crowd, the mob, that was a big thing. And there's the will of the mob. And that's on display here. Like Chaucer's whole deal being the herald
Yeah,
is working the crowd up into a froth. And he's
yeah, and
so
it
good
works
at it.
so well. And to the point that the other heralds like try and copy him, but are
Yes.
like kind of shit at it. That's so funny.
There's another really good deleted scene where the one herald tries to copy him, and then
Yeah.
Chaucer walks out and lays it down, and then just walks up to him afterwards, and he goes, "That's why I don't do 2 shows a night," and walks away. Like he just mic drops on him. It's so good.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, when he gets to London, and by this point in the movie, we've had William decide he's going to do this, come up with the fake name, win a bunch of stuff, get the girl, somewhat lose the girl, get her back. And now he's going to London. He is Sir Ulrich at this point, and he's getting the things that he wants as Sir Ulrich, but he can't help himself but go to, was it Cheaptown? Or it was something like that, or like Cheapside. London. Yeah. And he goes in there, and it's, it's pouring rain, and he's not in any of his gear, and he wanted to go back. He wanted to go back home. He's back home for the first time. What was it, 12 years or something like that?
And he goes on his horse. Like, you can tell his ego is there, though. Like, he wants to show off a little bit, which is probably part of why he gets caught. It's kind of his own fault.
For sure. But
he could have been a bit more discreet, and he did not give a shit. He's like, no, I deserve this. I'm this guy.
I'm Sir Ulrich.
He does fully embody it.
And when he talks to the little girl, who, of course, he's her favorite knight.
Of course.
And she knows his father. That's also the good one, right? In a city like London, he happens to run into the one little girl from the neighborhood.
Yeah, he lives right around the corner.
But the look on his face when she says, no, he lives right around the corner, because he assumed that his dad was dead. And just that moment broke my heart.
The acting is super good. And that, yeah.
And then the movie doubles down on it by having the whole thing where he goes and sees his dad, who's like working on the net. And, he's talking about his son, like in the third person. Like he's saying like, yeah, your son, and it, oh God, I'm sitting there like tearing up as I'm watching it, because it's just this wonderful moment. Oh yeah. Super heavy. And you know what?
And the fact that they're like hanging out after and having fun is like super heartwarming. I love that. And he's an idiot to fix his roof in the rain, but but they're like sharing a meal, and it's really adorable.
Yeah. Oh, it was so great. And this, the whole like, oh, I want to meet Watt and Roland. Oh, you will,
and they totally could have made this like a serious moment where he's like, why did you sell me? Like, no, they just made it heartwarming, and I'm really glad they did.
Yeah. I think, obviously a different movie might go that route and try to really mine that for some sympathy, but this movie doesn't want to do that, and shouldn't do that. Like, they went the right route.
I'm glad they did.
So then, of course, he gets caught, right? And Admar sees him, which I guess he was just following him and has like a network of spies. Who knows? Doesn't matter.
I mean, a knight in Cheapside gets some tongues rolling, I guess, and makes his way back to him. Yeah, he probably put spies out. He probably did say like, follow this guy and find anything on him because he sucks and I hate him.
Yeah, that's true. But he, so it's everybody's like, you got to run, you got to go, and his pride won't let him do that. And pride comes before the fall. But to his credit, he's like, I'm not going to run from this either. It's sort of his moment to be like, I've put myself in this situation. I could run. That's the easy way out, and I can keep going, but that's not who I am.
It is really part of his character that he is like stupidly stubborn to get what he wants, and luckily it works out for him. But building on that, like, yeah, he should have run. Also, in the last scene, he gets injured and he just jousts without armor. Like, that's very stupid. Like, he could have absolutely died for sure if he hit his head or anything. He could have put his helmet back on. I don't know why, because it's not dramatic if you don't do it. But yeah, it really isn't his character. And the same when he's pursuing
Jocelyn.
Jocelyn is like, he says a bunch of stupid stuff, compares her to his horse's flanks. But he just keeps going. Like, he's just like, this is my personality.
Okay, so I do want to touch on the flanks and that whole scene. First of all, from a technical standpoint, that scene in that church is phenomenal. It's like 3.5 minutes long, single take, horizontal tracking shot. Partway through it, I was like, ooh, all right, we're showing off. Cool. I love it. I love when movies do that.
Yeah.
But it's a great character moment because when he meets her, he doesn't know what to say. He's trying to find her name. She's calling him the hunter. She's just the fox he's hunting. It's very cute. She becomes smitten with him. He's obviously smitten with her. But then they have the little falling out, and then it cycles back around because of his love letter. But the love letter works, and that scene is great because it's not it starts off as his words, but it's not his words by the end.
Yeah, it's like a bonding moment between all of them. They all like share their stories and their love, and through the love letter, and they're like all supporting him. It's super sweet.
It
And you would
is.
think that Chaucer would be the one to write the letter, and then he just lets everyone else give their input, which is
Yeah.
nice.
And it's a wonderful scene, but it also works to kind of win her affections back. And then when
Yeah.
he does get in front of her, she's like, "Hey, tell me tell me that poetry again. I want to hear those
Yeah.
words." And he's like,
Prince like he's
I don't, not sure. I'm just going to stick my foot in my mouth over and over." And
yeah,
he
yeah,
uses the thing she can't stand, which is, "I will win this tournament for you."
yeah.
The
Which
last
also
thing.
kind of crazy of her to be like, "Tell me a poem right now."
Right.
Like, come
Yeah.
on.
And that's that romantic comedy like silliness.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the one thing about the movie I didn't love is that, but I'm not a big rom-com that style
Yeah. It
fan.
still works though because of the comedy that results from it being so
No,
silly.
it absolutely does, and it also
Mm.
works because of Heath Ledger and Shannyn Sossamon. They're
Yes.
both good, and their chemistry is really good together.
They do have really good chemistry.
But it's great because now he's putting his foot in his mouth and he's making things worse again. So now he's got to go through the whole, I love the, "Why are you doing this?" "I don't know," as he's like losing over and over. It's like, yes, you do.
Yeah.
You absolutely know why you're doing it. But,
Women, as they
but
say.
then, yep. For him to get caught, captured, and the stubbornness of it, and her willing to like run away with him and give up everything for him, and there probably is a alternate reality where that's the way the movie goes, right? That's the ending, is they run away
Yeah.
together.
And then they
And instead, like, he takes it on the chin, he gets arrested, and for Prince Edward to come back and let him out. And that scene is great because
it's so
they all show up, right? The mob, again, it's the fickleness of the mob. All these people that loved him the day before, now they're like slapping him and throwing fruit at him and all this kind of stuff. But all his friends show up and they're ready to fight
And you
this
don't
mob.
realize that, like, they probably, in these instances, they probably just kill the prisoners. Like, the mob probably, like, beats them. Like, yeah, they throw tomatoes and it's a funny movie. But, you know, as a kid, I was like, oh, what are they going to do? Like, throw fruit at him? It's not that bad. But no, like, they probably would have killed him if, even if his friends were there. So probably good that Prince Edward showed up. Also, I don't know if he's really allowed to knight people, but we're going to, again, just, like, gloss over that because, like, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Well, and even, like, nobody's going to know who Prince Edward is without like all his royal garb or anything like that. So the mob's just going to take him at his word that he's Prince Edward.
Yeah, and the arrival that he did, so dramatic with the cloak, and that scene is so ridiculous, but again, hilarious.
Oh yeah. But I loved like him coming up to him and telling him, you know, your friends love you, and if I knew nothing else, that's enough for me. But also, you know, you're very knightly, like your actions make you noble, is such a good moment. It's corny as hell, and I don't care. I loved all of it.
And by the way, his costume, his outfit in that, with he has like this jacket that has like the golden royal logo on it, and not, but it looks excellent. I'm sure that's not period appropriate, but it's a really good clash with how the crowd is. And also, right after he knights him, the crowd is like super excited and applauds for him. They're like, "Yay! We were gonna kill you, but we changed our mind."
Yep. And there again, it's that fickleness of the mob, that they just go with whatever is the prevailing thing. And
you know, they didn't have the internet, so
that's
were
right.
bored.
Exactly. There's a really great moment in the first tournament when Chaucer is giving like the whole, hey, he won, you know, holding his arm up after the sword thing. That moment where he does all that and nobody reacts, and then it's
because they like don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, and that was real. That was actually how the scene went. The extras,
that's hilarious.
The Prague extras didn't understand what he was saying, and the director was talking about this. He's like, we shot the scene, it all happened, and we were getting ready to shoot it again to do it proper. And he's like, I just thought, no, this is better. This is better than what I had written. We'll just go with that. And I loved it. I loved that so much.
Okay. Yeah, that part is really, really great. And Roland's like, yeah, it's such a good sound.
So good. Speaking of sound, I caught some audio. I want to play a few of these. I could have just captured literally everything Paul Bettany said in the movie.
There's so many one-liners that are awesome, and I quote them all the time. It's called a lance. Hello.
I love the mix of people too, because Mark Addy, Rufus Sewell, Paul Bettany are all English.
Yeah.
Alan Tudyk is American. So is Shannyn Sossamon. But then you got Heath Ledger. He's an Aussie.
Yeah.
But I liked that I bought all of them. Like even
Yeah.
Alan Tudyk's way over the top accent works because he's kind of an idiot. And so he
Yeah.
sort of,
Yeah,
he could talk
it
that way
does.
and it works.
Also, like his violence in this is really reminiscent of like a what do you call, like a football hooligan
Mm-hmm.
in the UK. Like he's very much that persona.
Every time, like when they're learning to dance, and Jeff tells him, like, you know, and Watt shouldn't lead like a girl, and he just stares at him for a second and punches him in the face, and then we smash cut to them doing it again, and he's just got a big black eye. I loved it. It
Yep.
cracked me up so much. So let's see. These are kind of all over the place, but I got some good ones. I did love when they meet Kate.
Yes, I did want to talk about this scene. I love her and her intro.
It's wonderful because his armor's broken, so he's going to all the blacksmiths, and he doesn't have any money to pay them. And they're like, "Nope, money first." Goes to another guy's like, "Nope, pay first." And one of them just says jokingly, like, "What about her? Like, go talk to her."
The farrier.
Yeah, and so he does, and I like the way he mind games her into doing it for him by being like, "No, they said you're great with horseshoes, but you're shit with armor," and you know, the fact that you're a woman never came up. And she's like, you know, play on the ego.
Yeah.
So it's perfect. But then when Kate joins them and makes the new armor later on, she turns that right back around on him because he's complaining about the armor and testing it. And she just looks at him and says,
"Do you at least have the courage to test it?"
Of course he's not going to back down from that. And so then we get him redoing a scene out of Jackass. It's perfect.
And that scene is excellent for so many reasons. Like the Nike swoosh that she puts on the armor is just hilarious. Like, what is that? Why is that even there? But it's really funny. The new armor being like a super cool innovation is actually historically accurate. That like if you change the way you heat the steel, it's lighter. And that they all make fun of him and being in this like shrinky dink armor until he gets on the horse, and then they're like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, it's perfect.
I love that. And it is the classic like rock star story, right? Like you start out, you get a lot of success, then you fail, and then you get like an upgrade of some sort, like whatever it is, better armor, whatever, that like you keep rising, and then eventually you fail, and then you win the big thing at the end. Like it's that classic story, but it is really like on all those points get hit.
Yeah, I mean, A Knight's Tale is very much Rocky if you make it more comedic and it's what it is. It's the same story.
It's like any rock star biopic you'd see today is like the same.
And there's
minus
a reason,
maybe the drugs,
right? But there's a reason that story gets made all the time, is because it's a good story that people can relate to,
and it's how people are. But bringing up Kate, there's a point that I don't know how you feel about this, but between her and Jocelyn, this movie has very much of the early 2000s feminism in it, which is like, I'm a girl, but I think that men treat women badly, but also I'm sexist.
Yes.
Like, you know, like it's not quite fully formed feminism, and it's like girl power, but also not completely. And so her, like the whole thing, like, oh, they didn't mention I was a woman, totally is like a thing, but it's like so heavy-handed. But that is for the time like a little bit ooh cool, but right now it's like, okay, it's not really that feminist. And I just thought that was interesting.
It's what it smacks of to me is it's feminism written by a man is what it is.
Yeah, and also specifically of that time period too, because that was really the thing, again, with like the Spice Girls and all of that. That was like the fashion almost at the time.
Kind of, yeah. Let's see. Oh, change their stars. I just like that as a quote.
Yeah.
13 silver pieces, 3 men can change their stars.
I like that. That's
and that scene. I mean, actually, it's not that scene. It's a bit later, but we get the training montage and all this, and then we get the reveal, which is also very like you get a makeover. You use all your 13 pieces, and you get the haircut reveal with like the heartthrob Heath Ledger, who's like riding on his horse, very swagger over the hill, and it's so great. That's actually a clip that's been going around on TikTok of like everyone's just like goo eyes at that scene.
They probably didn't have it in the music budget. However, this one was begging for the needle drop.
My foxy lady.
Yeah.
I was waiting for Jimi Hendrix to start playing right after that.
Why didn't we get that? That's a good point.
My
had
theory
a lot
is
of the other songs.
Yeah, my theory is they just couldn't afford the song, or they couldn't get
It's possible.
This was kind of a good one. This is Count Adamar, Rufus Sewell.
Some of these poor country knights, little better than peasants.
He's just like some of the first
that
things
anchors
he
his
says.
character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you can tell that Jocelyn is like, okay, you're kind of a dick, but and then we're all thinking the same thing, right? We're like, wow, he sucks.
Yep,
and it's not very hard to outline him after that.
Nope, not at all. I also love him using this line.
You have been weighed, you have been measured, and you have been found wanting.
That is...
Which they used against him in the end as well.
Pulling that
and
back
that scene where they bring it
him.
back, that's one of the very Gladiator scenes because he's like floating on the sand, like back down, just like in Gladiator.
Yep. Yeah, and everybody like looking down at him, kind of almost in like a huddle around him, was really, really good. This was a bit of comedy. This is Chaucer and I think Roland.
Fine, well, it was allegorical.
Well, we won't hold that against you. That's for each man to decide for himself.
This is another one that I only caught on this rewatch where I was like, that's a very good little snippet there.
It's a great little snippet, and then Bettany's reaction to it is perfect. This look of just utter confusion, like, wait,
these people are dumb?
Yeah. Not real. Like, come on, Jeff, you're dealing with a bunch of peasants. Of course they're dumb. The fact that they can read it all is, anachronistic enough. Let's see. I liked the delivery of this. This is Prince Edward after he knights, or right before he knights him, where he's getting him. He's told them to release him, and he's talking about his personal historians have found.
Which is definitely bullshit.
It absolutely is, and I loved it because you can tell he even knows
Don't question it.
Yeah, and it was the way he said this.
This is my word, and as such is beyond contestation.
First of all, contestation, saying something is beyond contestation is such a good way to do it. Like, it just sounds so authoritarian.
Don't try me.
Authoritarian. Yeah, don't push me. But
mostly because if you do, you'll find that I totally bullshitted this, but it's fine. I'm royal. Don't worry about it.
But I'm also the Black Prince, and so if you do push it, no one's going to know. Because you will end up in a deep, dark hole. Again, just everything Jeff. Like,
God, I'm good!
Oh, that hurts my vocal cords, but it's so
There's
good.
so many of those that I say all the time.
There's that one. What was...
My lords, my ladies, and all you other people.
That was great. Him trying to be Chaucer, him trying to be Jeff, and it just did not work. I like that Watt is just about food at the beginning. He's just like, I want money because I want to eat, and he's mentioning all the different food that he wanted.
And you notice that in the love letter, the person that he's in love with is like the cook.
Yes,
who like was really good at cooking.
It's just
honestly, I relate to that though. Food's important.
Oh yeah, no, it absolutely is, and I think this is him.
Glory and riches and stars are beyond our grasp, but a full stomach, that dream can come true.
It can, especially with 5 silver pieces, man. You can eat
a
good.
Logic man, a man of logic.
He is. He's a good. He knows what he wants. There's that great scene in the bar where
they're like betting with the Frenchman.
They're betting with the Frenchman, and all of them want to get in on it except for Roland. He's like, I just want to go home. I've got enough money to go home like 10 times over. I don't want to do any of this. And they make the crack about the Pope being French.
Mm-hmm.
And his reaction is just perfect.
Well, the Pope may be French, but Jesus is English. You're on.
It's so good. Also, why?
Right, exactly.
Really? I also love in that scene where they have all these little songs that they come up with, like he's quick, he's funny, he
Oh.
makes me lots of money.
Yep.
Liechtenstein. I don't know if you
I
caught those,
have.
but-
Oh no, I absolutely got.
Also,
that.
they say he's from Gelderland. That's not a made-up country. Like it's the Netherlands, actually.
Yeah.
Which
Yep.
is really funny.
Well, and
They're just like-
Ulrich von Liechtenstein
Ulrich?
was a real person.
Yeah. Well, was that the name of the knight, or they changed it? Then they just like made up a guy.
No, there is an Ulrich von Liechtenstein,
Okay,
and
they didn't inherit the name of the initial Sir whatever.
right. No,
who
Sir
died in
Ector.
the beginning, right? Oh, right, yeah.
But there was an Ulrich von Liechtenstein in history, and he supposedly wrote and was a lot about like chivalry and nobles being of like courtships and stuff like that. Was a lot of him. It was like 1200 AD.
Okay, a few hundred years off, but it's okay.
But I did get one of Jeffrey's songs.
He's quick, he's funny, he makes me loads of money. Liechtenstein.
That's going to be going through my head forever now.
Oh,
It's just
all the
gonna be
time.
there.
He comes from Gelderland. That's another thing that reminds me of like football.
Yep.
Like
oh, absolutely.
La, 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 la.
Yes. Jeff, introducing him.
Well, I am Sir Ulrich von Liechtenstein from Gelderland.
That was William tripping over his own name.
This is his made-up name.
His made-up name. But then later on, so he's been Sir Ulrich through the whole movie. And then the last time Jeff does his introduction, which is to buy him time because he's injured and he can't grip his lance, he notices that, and so he gets up there and does it, and I just loved. Now get that man some honey tea, all right? Because my goodness,
He really
his
put
throat.
his whole heart and lungs into that.
Boy, did he ever. I loved the training montage. I love a good training montage anyway.
Yeah, who doesn't? And
There-
there's multiple montages in this movie. There's a training montage. There's also like the falling in love montage.
Yep. Oh, yeah. With one of the best anachronisms musically is the Bowie song for the dance.
Yeah, and I love it. That was my favorite song for so long because of that whole dance sequence, which again, like super suspense of belief. Oh yeah, everybody just knows this dance. It's not at all like period accurate, but there's some hip gyration going on. Doesn't matter. It's a great scene. The Bowie song is so good, and yeah, that song for me is always associated with this scene and this movie and medieval times.
Understandable that it would be. I mean, look, you can't go wrong with Queen. You can't go wrong with David Bowie, ever.
Yeah. Apparently, he also had a hand in like adapting the song to the movie. To adding like the little medieval components to it and stuff. Yeah.
That sounds like something he would do. That's cool. I like
Right?
that. But during that training montage at the beginning, I just loved.
I think he's getting worse. He is getting worse.
Yeah, the Low Rider song also works so well for this scene.
Lowrider's going on.
Rider, horse rider, it's fine. It matches.
I love to catch movie laughs. Acting laughs are always, to me, just so much fun because there's times where you can tell they're genuine laughs and there's times where you can tell like they're an acting laugh. But this one was really good. This was with Peter the Pardoner and Simon the Summoner, who are Chaucer characters.
Yes.
And I just loved, I think this was Peter when they were leaving. It's such a silly.
That is a good sound clip.
It's such a silly little like goblin laugh.
Evil, yeah, it's good. Yeah, because they're the evil debt guys.
Yep.
Gambling debt guys.
Also, anytime somebody gets called an idiot.
She makes me feel like a poet.
Well, you may feel like a poet, but you sound like an idiot.
Great. There's so many good one-liners in this movie.
There are, and I love Mark Addy. And Mark Addy just has the perfect delivery in so many of these.
And his accent also helps somehow.
It really does. More food from Watt.
Dilled veal balls with squash fritters. I'll take my 5 now.
I don't know what either of those things are, but I kind of want to try either one.
Doesn't matter.
A squash fritter. Okay.
I've had squash fritters. I think it's when you fry the flowers. No?
Oh, that could be. That actually
Those
might
are
not be
good.
bad.
Also, squash, not period appropriate. Squash
No.
is from North America.
But dilled veal balls.
Yeah, is it testicles? I guess we'll never know. Probably.
Probably. Although I feel like if it was, they would give it a different name just to hide the fact. They'd call it, because I mean, Rocky Mountain oysters.
Yeah, but he's he's crude, so it could
That's true.
be.
No, that's a good point. This one's called This Face. I don't remember.
Why, God, did you curse me with this face?
That one was.
That scene is excellent.
When
he shows her the ring and he wants her to kiss it, and she's like, "That's beautiful," and he's like, "Oh," and then he just starts singing.
Yes.
La, la, la.
I want a whole movie with just the old bishop.
I want to know his backstory. Yeah,
yes.
He's excellent.
So one thing that I thought was really cool is, there's a ton of anachronisms, and we're fine with all of those, but the church being just a big open room and no pews in it is period accurate. They wouldn't have had any.
And I love that. And it's really a commanding space, and it makes you pay attention to the scene because it looks weird, but it's a church. And I don't know if they used a specific church, if it was a French one, or they used just one that was in Prague. But
I know they built most all of the sets for this. Like everything was built.
And the church that they're in twice, it's definitely the same set, and they're supposed to be in two different places. But I'll forgive them for that. And it's the same guy too. Actually, maybe
just
because
came back for another
that scene is supposed to be in Paris. And the original church scene, they're not in Paris, right? They're like
somewhere else in France.
Nowhere.
Yeah.
So that's not quite whatever. Maybe he's a traveling cardinal. Or whatever.
That could be. I did just watch The Name of the Rose, and they had traveling friars in that. So
okay, well, let's just go ahead and assume that that's what happened.
It works for me.
Sure.
Let's see. This, I think, is also Jocelyn.
Certainly, my lord. I only laugh just to keep from weeping.
That is.
I love it.
Again, that's that early 2000s, late 90s, like seeping in.
And the guy, whatever religious figure he is, he totally buys it, and he's like, "I understand. I would do the same." And he's just like, "Yeah, that makes sense."
Mm-hmm. Oh. I've got a few here. I captured them. I don't remember what they are, but it's fun to listen to them.
Yeah, true.
My maid tells me that sometimes you're Violet, that they call you William.
So I had to get that because one, it was a good moment between the two of them, but she uses the term varlets, and
is that what she said?
I love that word. And
I didn't know that word.
There's a game that like
servants
or underlings. There's a video game I play based on Warhammer 40K called Dark Tide, and there's a character in that you interact with that constantly calls you and your team varlets.
Okay.
And so hearing it get used in a movie like this, I was like, that's awesome. Someone else using the word.
Yeah.
So that was neat. Let's see.
Sir William Thatcher. Your father heard that.
Again,
that was really
I started tearing up. I'm like, oh, come on. It's so good.
They're really good at motivating him to do stuff. Also, when they like tell him that like, oh, this knight made all his peasants starve to death, and they're like, is that true? No, I don't know.
Probably, yeah. It's like it's not true at all. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it worked. Whatever.
This one's just labeled scoff. I think I know what this is. Yeah, it was just a funny noise. Just Paul Bettany being Paul Bettany. Oh, here's that.
It's probably true.
It's probably true. Like, who knows? No, this. I am upset that it took me this long to see this movie for the first time, because it's one I'm going to go back and watch again.
Isn't that a great and bad feeling of like, man, I should have seen this a while ago.
I should have, but now I have, and I know it, and it's one of those where it's such a uplifting and comforting movie, because it's not trying to be anything other than what it is, which is
or whatever.
Yeah,
it's totally a comfort movie that I'll come back to probably once a year and be like, I want to watch something nice and silly, and this will be what I throw on. Which it's unfortunately it's not really streaming anywhere right now, but it should be.
It
And
should. It's probably
people,
music
it's just
related.
generally loved, but it's maybe flown under the radar a little bit. I don't know.
It has, because it was a modest hit. It wasn't like a
Mm.
huge blockbuster at the time, but it was modestly a hit. But it's definitely got a bigger cult following since then. And
Yeah.
if it ever does pop up on a streaming service, it's going to do well.
Yeah.
But you're right.
Before streaming, I like never was able to tell what was really a hit because like I had the VCR or the DVD and I
Right.
watched it 20 times because I only had so many DVDs. So
Sure.
for me, it was a hit, but I don't know.
Yeah. But you're right. This is an uplifting. It's a very comforting movie. It's that movie that like, oh, I'm having a rough week. I need something that's just going to make me feel
Yeah.
good that I don't have to think a lot about. I can just enjoy.
And I lean towards those kinds of movies, especially nowadays. I'm really like susceptible to the emotions that you get from movies. So if it's a really depressing movie, like that'll like, for example, you mentioned Brokeback Mountain earlier. That movie wrecked me for like a month. Like I was like depressed. I was like, it's so sad. I couldn't stop thinking about it. And so this is the polar opposite of like, oh, I just need something really lighthearted. And it like, oh, I feel better afterwards.
Yeah.
Even though it's so silly.
There are movies that are quote unquote better than this that I don't ever want to watch again. Monster with Charlize Theron is a fantastic performance and an amazing movie. I'm not rushing out to watch it again because it was wholly depressing. Leaving Las Vegas with Nick Cage, phenomenal performance, amazing movie. I'm not rushing to watch that one again. Like
for me, the version of that is Midsummer and Hereditary. Like,
oh yeah.
Really exceptional movies. Oof.
Mhm.
Like, oh, I don't know.
But
Don't know
then
if I want to rewatch that every year.
Yeah, but the other side of that coin is A Knight's Tale, or one for me that's a very comfort movie is The Birdcage. When I want to,
Yes.
when I want,
just
like,
watched that recently. That movie's so good.
because like this movie,
Spirit for that matter.
yeah, everybody in it, and in this movie too, is having fun, and you can tell.
Yeah,
they all
it's so
enjoy
fun.
it. They're all having a
And
good
you're along
time
with them.
Yep, it's just
Yep.
wonderful. If you have the opportunity to watch this movie, definitely watch it. Like I'm gonna watch it
Yeah,
again.
don't even think about it.
Yeah.
It's worth the $3.99 to rent it. If you had a bad day, you'll come out of this movie. No one hates you can't hate this movie.
I don't think you really can. Like I can see people that are like, I didn't really, it didn't connect with me, but it's fun. It's a fun movie that doesn't take itself too seriously, but also isn't poking fun either.
And the soundtrack is excellent.
Oh,
and it's just
soundtrack's great.
uplifting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, again, Queen, David Bowie, Queen with Robbie Williams over the end credits, AC/DC. Like how can you go wrong?
What are Jet? I think also.
Yeah,
all these kind of that
Thin
arena
Lizzy,
rock, like you said.
like
Thin
just
Lizzy,
all
yeah,
this
that
wonderful arena rock. It's awesome. So, and it's a movie that will get emotions going in you, but not in a depressing way. Like,
yeah, they're like happy sad emotions.
Yeah.
Like, oh, him and his father are so close, and like he's motivated by his dad. Like these are good sad emotions.
yeah, yep, they are emotional tears, but from like a release type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, and they earn it.
It's a happy ending. What do you think? So here's my question.
Yeah.
What do you think happens after this? Do you think he retires? Do you think he goes on to keep doing jousting?
I feel like he probably does for a little while. I think he does because he's won, but he also wants to keep winning. He likes that feeling, and he likes the crowd liking him. And I think that he's young enough, he's going to keep doing it for a bit. But because of being a squire and seeing what happened to Sir Ector, I think he knows enough to get out at an earlier age before he dies in the arena. But no, he definitely keeps going for a while. I think
That's also the hope I think that I had. I was like, yeah, he'll probably keep playing for a while, and then Jocelyn eventually will be like, okay, stop because you're gonna get injured. And then they like retire in her castle.
Yeah, wherever that happens to be, somewhere in France.
Live happily ever after. Yeah, that's another part that I liked about this. Again, having grown up in France, like the places where they go are historically relatively accurate. Obviously, you don't see a lot of them in the background, and Prague is a pretty good fit. Prague is very medieval-ish in the town center, so that was nice seeing all the places that I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense that there'd be a tournament there and that the Black Prince would be there. And
yeah,
I had a good laugh when Count Adhemar is like in war, and he's like checking up on the results of the
Yes.
jousting tournament,
Oh.
and he's like so pissed off. And I'm like, don't you have better things to do?
Right?
Like, aren't you sieging people right now?
Yeah.
Why do you care about this? You're so petty.
It's perfect because it is Count Edamar. Like that character would care about what's
He's
going
just
on in this
like a
because he's that
shitty
petty.
dude.
Yeah, he really is. Also, I loved that the aerial shot of London had the London Eye, like a wooden version of the London Eye in the background.
Oh, I missed that completely. That's hilarious. Wait, but did the London Eye exist in 2001?
I think so.
Okay. I gotta go back and find that scene. I missed that. That's really funny. There are some like little scenes like that where it'll be like medieval versions of stuff that we have today. And I can't think of anything, but or like they're selling like there'd be like not a hot dog vendor, but like it's like a turkey leg vendor like walking through the stadium.
What
and
was
stuff
the
like
one?
that.
He had cat meat and hot wine. Was what the vendor kept saying.
No, it
I
was
was
yak.
like,
It was yak meat.
was it yak? Okay.
Yeah.
Yak,
do remember
cat,
him
whatever
saying
it was, but hot wine. I don't think I want hot wine.
Hot wine's really good. Mulled wine.
Well, mulled wine, yes, that's true. The London Eye, by the way, December of 1999, so it was around.
Okay, so it was brand new at the time.
Yeah, it was brand new.
So that's probably why they put it in there. That's cool.
I'm sure. I think I read something that there was like in the Paris, like a Paris establishing shot. There was a wooden outline or something of the Eiffel Tower too.
Oh, I gotta check those.
Which I want to look for that one. I didn't see that, but
yeah.
No, this was a lot of fun. This was a great choice. So thank you.
Did you catch
for
the
getting me to
end
watch
credit
it.
scene, by the way?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That is what I like my stingers to be. Just something dumb.
Stupid.
Like it's dumb and it has no relevance on anything else. It's just a silly moment. And the faces they were making were perfect. And then it's just
Yeah, if you
around.
can ever see the bloopers from this movie are excellent as well. I guess you said you saw a few.
I saw a couple of them. There were deleted scenes, but just everybody having so much fun, and you can tell. And chief among them, we've sung his praises, but Paul Bettany, just stealing
in love
the
with
movie.
him from this movie. I prefer him here than in Marvel, just because he's so fun.
Oh yeah, well, because he's cranked up to 11, right? He's just all in. The one there was one deleted scene I kind of wish had been in the movie, and it's by this point we've seen him meet them and he's naked, and then the second time they find him naked and they gotta get his clothes back. This was a scene, it's all of them walking at night and they just see Jeff walking along naked again, and they follow him and they go inside and they're like, all right, who do you owe money to now? And he's like, what? He goes, where are your clothes? He's like, they're right over there. Well, what were you doing walking around naked? She was hungry. And then there's just a woman in the bed and it's his wife. And he'd gone out to get his wife food. And he's like,
just used to being naked.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, you must be rolling and you're definitely Watt. Like, Jeff's told me all about all of you. And it's this really adorable scene between the two of them. And I kind of wish it had been in the movie, but I get why they cut it. I was surprised this movie was 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah, you don't notice it. It flies by.
It's paced so well.
Mm-hmm.
It really, really is. I had
exceptional.
I had a great time with this movie. It was a
5 stars
choice. Yes, and I will watch it again. Absolutely.
Yes. Me too. Again
perfect.
and again.
So you've got some podcast stuff that you do. Let people know where they could find you if they're not already familiar with you, which they should be.
Yeah. Well, no, that's okay. Yes, sometimes I show up and I'm the science correspondent for DTNS because I'm actually not a professional movie watcher. I'm a scientist. So I'll go on there. I'll be on DTNS Brief like once a month, usually talking about fun topics. We just covered Colossal's new stupid stunt about trying to clone the MOA, so you can go listen to that, and so you can like catch me randomly on DTNS, but I usually post those segments as like blog posts on my website. So on either my website or on Blue Sky, I'm at Nicole Ackermans, and that's where you can find what's going on with me if you want. But I won't really post more about movies probably, but I'll post some funny jokes sometimes. So
yeah,
you know,
no, that's great, and it's awesome that you get to do stuff with DTNS. That's a great crew of people, and they're lucky to have
broader
you.
Frog Pants family.
Yes,
it's awesome that I get to come hang out here with you. I know we've been talking about it for a while, and I finally got to do it with one of my favorite movies. So
Yes, and we'll
fun
definitely any other time you want to come on, we'll get you back on here because this has been a lot of fun. We'll maybe I'll find one you haven't seen. We'll get you to watch something because
there's a lot. I haven't seen a lot of stuff.
Perfect. If you enjoy this conversation, I do it once a week, and usually live streamed at twitch.tv/TV's Travis. You can follow me, TV's Travis, on all the social medias, tvstravis.com on Blue Sky, and that's my website. And the website has links to the merchandise that I have, which got my logo on some stuff. If you want a coffee cup or a hat, hey, they're fun. And I have a friend of mine who he bought one of the bucket hats that has my logo, and anytime he goes anywhere, he'll send me pictures. He's like, your hat's in Belize, or your hat's in Las Vegas, or whatever, and it's adorable.
It's like Flat Stanley.
Yeah, it's great. I also have a patreon.com/WYHS. That helps me to do things like going to Dragon Con, where I will be in about 45 days, which is way too soon.
Fun.
And all of that is helped by the Patreon. So if you can join that, that's wonderful. You also get bonus episodes where I do first watch diaries. They're 10-15 minutes long. I watch a series and I talk about an episode of a series, and I go through. I'm finishing up Star Wars Ahsoka right now. I've got one episode left in that, and then I've got to decide what the next thing I'm going to watch is. So you can get that at Patreon, and you can find all that at tvstravis.com. Next week, Brian Ibbett, Coverville himself, is coming on the show. He's never seen PCU, which is a wonderful mid-90s kind of, it's Van Wilder before Van Wilder. It's Animal House. It's a silly comedy starring Jeremy Piven, and David Spade is in it, and Jon Favreau shows up in there in an early role for him, and also a cameo from George Clinton in Parliament Funkadelic. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait to talk to Brian about it because he's a big music guy, and this movie's got a lot of music stuff in it too. So that's what's coming up, and after that, we're into August, and we're into Cage-a-Palooza 2025, and Nick Cage all month, and I've got some fun ones coming.
Oh boy,
I cannot wait.
That sounds like a blast.
It's one of my favorite times every year, is spending the month of August just watching Nick Cage, because you never know what you're going to get. It's just a grab bag of crazy. It can be a phenomenal, heart-wrenching movie, or it can be some hot garbage. And
but still fun.
It's never
National
boring.
Treasure is still one of my favorite movies. It's so bad, but I love it.
It is much like A Knight's Tale. It's that comfort type of movie where it's like, it's just being a watered down version of Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
You know, it's what it is. But instead of Harrison Ford, it's Nick Cage, which is fine. I got no problem with that.
And you get a Nick Cage movie out of it.
That's right. So that's what's coming up. But Nikki, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Do it again. Oh, it was wonderful. I'm glad we finally got it done. Like, I'd been wanting to do this for a while, but you're busy.
Yes. I am busy, but it was a great time, and it gave me an excuse to watch my favorite movie again. So
perfect. And we got your cat showing up too, which is always great.
He's a guest today as well.
Perfect. So yeah, until next week and PCU with Brian Ibbett. Just remember, everybody, enjoy your movies, and let's be excellent to each other. All right, there's been a weight you haven't seen.
I've waited my whole life for this moment.
You've waited your whole life for Select to shot himself to death?
That made me laugh so hard.
That's great. Dramatic outro too.